If you had your wish, regardless of commercially, would you do a different cycle?
I would do more.
You would do more?
Yeah, because why did I start this? Is to create.
Walk me a little bit through a process. You have annual collections, correct?
We have 4 collections a year.
4 collections a year.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-month process. I'm sure it starts much earlier than that.
Yeah.
But a 3-month cycle. Walk me through from inception to it's out there, the process.
You
I'm
have
very
the
curious
time?
because I think a lot of people, I do have time. A lot of people are very interested in that because 4 is a lot. I mean, that's a lot. It means the moment you're inspired, it has to go into production to think about the next thing.
The reason why we have 4 collections a year is because commercially it makes more sense for us. And we also work with a network of distribution, retailers. So we work with Unas, with Harvey Nichols, Galeries Lafayette, and multiple stores that we have connected with over the years. And they need to have newness on a regular basis.
Fresh.
So every 6 months was like, the
Too
collection
little.
would, yes, too little.
And sorry if I interrupt you again. Excuse my ignorance about this. Does the old collection disappear when the new one comes? If I'm at Galeries Lafayette,
It gets on sales.
it goes on sale
goes on
and the new
sales.
one comes.
On sales. So the way I do that, I found my little recipe is that I create only twice a year, because I always say create, like the creativity aspect of what I do is maybe 5%, unfortunately, because I have, I'm running a team and there's so much other things to focus on. We need to sell also the collection. We need to sell the collection that's currently available while developing a new one. So there's so many other things. So I need to make sure that it's focused and it's done right at the right time. And so I create 2 times a year, and every time I create 2 collections at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
But how do I do it? I create one big collection and I divide it in 2.
So they are inspired from derived from the same inspiration?
Yes, it's very much the same inspiration. Maybe I have 2 different color palettes that still tie in together.
They follow each other, or you jump one and then you bring it back in?
No. I do together. I do groups of 2. So let's say spring and summer is together, but I will release a spring at some point and a summer at some point.
Okay.
And I release spring first, but summer, when it's delivered, will tie in with the spring. You can match whatever you buy from spring with the summer stuff because they are actually essentially the same collection. I can buy a blazer from the spring and the pants from the summer, and they actually, work together because they are designed together.
How many pieces per collection on average?
Around 35.
35 SKUs.
No, that's 35 styles.
Styles.
And then SKUs, there's different colors of items.
So this is a intense production cycle.
Very intense.
If commercially, this is a bit of a tricky question. If I get the commercial element of this, if you had your wish, regardless of commercially, would you do a different cycle? Would you like to do once a year or some other form of cycle, or are you comfortable with this cycle?
I would do more.
You would do more?
Yeah, because why did I start this? Is to create, to express my creativity. But the fact that I create only 5% of the time is not because I want to, it's because I have no choice. I have a lot of other hats that I have to wear.
Of course.
And if I could, I would create more.
And I know that you effectively do bespoke jobs as well, right? So sort of essentially it's called a consultancy.
Yeah.
How much does that help your business from a commercial standpoint to allow you to have that creative output on your collections?
There are some times when I actually it's off designing season that I have to create for a private client.
Yes.
And what I create for her inspires me for the next
Something
collection. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take something from this and I'm going to modify it this way to actually incorporate it and make it more suitable for a collection.
And would most smaller fashion labels like yourself survive if they didn't have that private business? Because again, I'm not an expert, but I'd imagine that business be brutal. I mean, you have to manage your creativity, production, wastage, cycle, sales.
So for us, it's a way to cater to the demand of
I see.
the region.
Which is
I
great.
don't know if it's the same
And you're very
elsewhere.
lucky because I think in this region there is this demand,
There
right?
is this demand to have something that's unique, that's
Yeah.
not available for everyone else, that's only for that person, and she will be willing to pay this extra amount to actually have something just
I'm
for
just
her.
not sure that's the case in Europe or the States as much as it is here.
But at the same time, it's very time and energy consuming. You
course.
have to be able to shift and to. It's basically forcing me to create at other times when I
Yeah.
may
When you
not
would be
have the
taking time to do
yeah.
something else.
Or I just finished a collection and I have to create for this client, or I created for this client and I have to start a collection, but all my creativity went into what I created for her. So will I be able to create my collection right after? It's also you have to be able to to shuffle that way and be able to switch back to something else.
And who is your target customer today? You have obviously some data.
Yes.
So describe to me your target customer that you feel Bouguessa really hits.
So we have different kind of
Profiles. Okay.
profiles, personas. We have a big part of the creative community that shops with us because they find their aesthetic, they find their way to interpret their personal style through our clothing, maybe with something like this that is still something that's familiar. It's a blazer, but at the same time, there's some element to it that's creative and interesting, different. We have also top executives, mothers or not mothers, that shop from us that like to, because our vision is to create ready to wear made to inspire confidence. So that's,
Interesting.
our motto kind of. So we want to make sure that we let the person who, I like to say the person because we are really close to starting menswear.
Yay!
I kind of
Or I was gonna start wearing the blazers anyway. I mean, that's
yeah,
fine.
I mean, this is kind
You
of
know what I
unisex.
mean?
So
Like,
we started to incorporate unisex styles, and
that's
then
great.
we posed it. We
Exciting.
will do it again.
I promise you to lose 15 kilos and be your model so I can
No,
pose
you
for
don't
the
need to. Believe me, like, you're fine the way you are. But yeah, so we have the executive that, need to kind of be assertive and want to feel confident in the way, she looks, and she can do so with our clothing. And yeah, and the mothers who also appreciate fashion, who like to experiment with their style.
And you say mothers because of the practical element of the brand,
Yes.
like the kind of, I don't want to say rushed, but you know what I mean? Slightly casual. I don't have 3 hours to go
Yeah.
and dress.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
It's kind of the styles, like you can take this and wear it over like leggings and t-shirt and you're.
And all of a sudden you look chic.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets about doing this? 10 years into it now. I mean, you've had some great success. People here know you, a lot of respect when your name comes up. And I'm not just saying that.
Thank you so much.
People always, honestly, like you see men and women, I mean, anyone who knows you. So that's an amazing reputation. But 10 years is not little. And you're still, to me, in the early stages of growing this brand.
Exactly.
It feels like a startup, right? Because I've been in my business for 7 years and it literally feels like a startup. 7 years is not little.
Yeah,
10
yeah.
years is not little.
Yeah.
But do you have any regrets when you look back now to be doing this the way you are, the amount of effort, risk, energy, commitment?
Yes. I would say I regret that I didn't focus on I don't actually, you know what the truth is? I don't think that I would have been able to do anything any other way.
I was going to just say, I
Yeah.
just want you to say it.
That's the thing. I don't think I would not.
These steps or missteps
Yeah.
is what took you
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah. You learn through the
In a
process.
straight line, I have the same feeling. I could tell you, I could have saved myself 2 years from going in this direction, which took me nowhere. But honestly, if I had not gone in that direction, I would have never learned to be in my direction
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But that's definitely sometimes how I feel.
But then you see people taking that direction and like, no, don't take that direction.
right.
I went there. And
But it's almost impossible,
Yeah.
right? They have to do it
they have,
themselves.
yeah, but it's, sometimes it's costly and
It's very
also
costly. And frankly,
mentally.
the key thing here is survival. I mean, I don't know about, I mean, I can tell you about my business. Costly is one thing, not surviving is another. I mean, in most of those cases, that's the end of it. That's it.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
take that road. It's a bit off. You continue in it, and you're out of
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
And it happens like this.
Yeah.
So, were there moments where you felt this is it? I'm going to give up. I mean, I certainly can tell you, I have had those moments.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, I'm going to will my way through. But it's literally sheer will and stubbornness. There's like vaporware. I don't know if you've been in the same situation, but I can definitely tell you I felt that many times.
I did feel like this, and I went very far in that frame of thought to
Pull
the
back.
point where like, what else am I gonna do? Like, this is
Yeah, that's the second question.
if I stop this, I would, because a lot of people tell me like, everything you have achieved with Bouguessa, it's amazing and everything. And my answer is always like, I'm nowhere near
Yeah.
my goal. And so, if I stop now, like I would have
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
given up.
And there's also a legitimate question of like, what am I going to do? Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to wake up in the morning and then
I can't
what?
I can't be not doing anything.
No, you will definitely do something.
Yeah.
But this is so closely identified with who you are.
Yeah, it's my passion. It's
Your
a passion.
passion.
I can't be doing anything else.